All right. It says it's recording, so here goes nothing.
All right.
All right, man. Well, cheers. I'm opening up my beer. And yeah. So this is what we're gonna do now. We're gonna drink on camera because everybody's gonna die.
Hey, fuck it.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Cheers to
man.
that. Let's stay healthy and happy.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Cool, man. So tell me about you, Mike. Well, I'm Roman. This is Mike. That's it.
Hello, people. So, yeah, I'm Mike Jadak. I'm a beer drinker. Been drinking for 20 plus years. I was a mechanic, automotive technician for 10 plus years before I got into beer industry. Started off at a brewery in South Jersey. That was a packaging guy, working from the bottling line, the kegging line, to everything else from labeling the bottles to whatever they needed there. And when we advanced to the canning line, and throughout that time, I went to school, Siebel, to become a brewer. I'm a advanced home brewer. I've won many homebrew competitions, and moved on to finally be a professional brewer. And I understand what beer is. I love the science. I love the chemistry, and I love to drink it. So,
Yeah, and behind you is your little workshop, part of
yes,
your
this is
workshop.
Double Bay Brewing behind me, and one of the empty fermenters that's going to be filled this week. I'm going to be brewing an amber ale. We'll be talking about that one later on from a brewery we used to go to that we used to like the amber beers at. So I thought about I always brew New England and juicy style beers, very hoppy. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to go to an old school style and just make an amber IPA. So I'm going to shoot for that and use Chinook and Cascade hops, make it a little dirty and earthy, and see how that comes out. Make it more of like a 5%er, so I'm not drinking these 7% beers and get wasted by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's just like I'm going to try something different now.
Nice. And I'm Roman, and I just drink beer. That's it. I I tried brewing 4 times, and I've been at your house multiple times while you were brewing, and I don't do anything. I mostly just sit there and drink. I think at one point I stirred, but that was about it.
You threw some hops in.
Yeah, but that's it. That's my extent. It's a lot of work. I give
It
you
is a lot of work.
man. You've been doing this for years now, like at home, and it's like, oh man, I think I did it. So I think the fourth time I did, I was like, fuck this. I this is too much cleaning, man.
It is.
Everything. It's like touch this container, clean it instantly. Touch this, clean it, and I'm just like,
You're a glorified janitor. That's all you are, you know.
but but
But
yeah.
at the end of the time, like it takes me like 2 weeks for fermentation, and then it takes a week for carbonation for how my system works. But then I'm very happy how the beer comes out, So it's just like you always got that thing. It's just like, is this going to come out well, or is it going to be a drain pour? But 95% of the times we've had good beer, so we're happy about it. Like I said, we've won competitions, and we're able to brew at other breweries in New Jersey. So got a good following down here. So everything's really well, and we enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah, man, your beer's gotten like super good from where you started. Like, I
I
mean,
know.
you figure you started brewing a little bit before I did, my 4 times. But you start off buying those kits and like, but it tastes like, a kit, because it's just like, well, here's this all this prepackaged stuff, and you quickly moved on from that stuff. You kind of went from like, I think you only did a couple of those kits, and then you were like, nah, I got this homebrew place near me. I'm going to buy my own grain and do all that. And,
Exactly.
Meanwhile, I'm using the kit, and I'm like, why does it taste like, bleh? And, yeah.
Like cat piss and stuff.
Yeah, and it's just like, and I remember like I brought it over to you or one of our other buddies, and they're like, yep, tastes like homebrew. And it's like, and
Got that homebrew twang.
your beers literally started tasting like, professional beer. Sorry. Yeah, you're a professional, but it's like you made that switch of going from a home brewer and that homebrew taste to like, this is stuff we sell on shelves. And so,
Yeah.
my hats off to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, man, it's a true passion of what you want to do, and I enjoy it. I think it's also because I'm a musician, so it's just like something creating. So it's just like there's been times I've made many recipes and did it over and over and over again, and changed the water chemistry, changed the hop additions, a little bit less, a little bit more, using Beersmith as a great program to develop my recipes. So it's just it makes me want to makes you think a little bit more and just see what you can do to make it better. So it's just even this is like I said, like a musician, like little ghost notes here and there you add in to the song, make it better. You do that to your brews and everything else. Even like you dry hop it or you're doing a biotransfer or double dry hopping or adding like lactose or something or and people go off the wall now with the quarantine. I've been seeing on these homebrew pages, everyone's throwing anything they can find into it, like raspberry purees and this and that. It's like, hey, I made a raspberry wheat. I'm like, all right, good job. Congratulations. It's okay, cool. I still like just making beer. I don't want to add too much adjuncts into the secondary too because I just like beer. So, but there's people out there that like that, and kudos. I was doing that at the brewery, like adding adjuncts and whatever they needed. So, cool. I'll do what you guys want. But when I'm home, I'm happy to do what I want to do, and it's just like, am I satisfied with this?
So we started drinking. I mean, we were probably drinking a little underage, but I did become a bartender for a while. I was a bartender for like 5 years. And so I know a little bit about beer and the whole like culture, crappy bartender. But then now I do something totally different. We have been drinking for quite some time, going on almost 20 years of drinking together. I live up by New York. We've both moved away from where we grew up in Woodbridge, New Jersey. You're South Jersey, I'm North Jersey, and like we always try to hang out when we can. And now with everything that's happening, we're doing this remotely. But this is good. This is good. And but yeah, like I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about where at least I know we were drinking before we went to JJ Biddings, but in our town was this one, I guess you would say like one of the first like
Pubs.
craft brew pubs like
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
our area, really.
Yeah.
And people would come from like around like other cities, towns to go to JJ Biddings because it was like a craft beer place, and at the time there weren't many.
Yeah.
So
It was
the
a good
only
crowd,
in
good
our
beer,
area,
great food.
yeah.
We used to go to wing night on Monday nights.
Oh
It's
my
like,
God, so many wings. I think they still have good wings.
yeah, they do.
Uh, but like we would go there Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturday. But it was so cool. Like I don't know, you just turned 21, and it was at that time the place was always packed.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh
their
yeah.
beer was cool. It was like it was new beer. It was it was all craft brewed. They had like five or six. What do they have? They had like five or six beers. I don't remember if they had an IPA. They probably
I,
had one.
I think they had the Wales IPA and the Avenel Amber. That's why I'm brewing the Amber because that kind of came up in my head because when we were talking before about like JJ Biddings, I was like, I always like the Amber. And I
Yeah.
was like, I haven't brewed one of this, so it's like, let me try it. So it was just like, I remember that one, and I did remember they did get in trouble because they had a Duff IPA, and they got sued by the Simpsons because it was Duff, and they had to call it X Duff, and if we called it Duff there, we used to get yelled at by the bartenders. So we always got yelled at by the bartenders because we're jerks.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, oh man, but that place was great. And I think it was kind of like it opened us up to like it's not just Bud or, one of the other cans at the time. There was like almost other than I think like Sierra Nevada and like Sam Adams, there were really not that many like craft brew available at the
exactly.
stores. So this place would sell growlers. Like growlers are like, what is this? You can fill up a growler, So it was new for us. I mean, drinking was new for us kind of. And so it was, I don't know, that place is magical. But then, and then over the years, I don't know, like I don't know, I felt like they either their quality of their beer kind of went down or we just got sick of it because they only had 5 beers to choose from and we're just like, it's the same thing. Like, like 3 years of drinking the same stuff. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
it's like it says, as we got older, and there's the boom started happening, like 2005, 2007, where people were just making beer, and you had like Dogfish come out, and like Dogfish was, or I forget when they started, but they came out with their 60-minute, and it was just like, oh my god. And Oscar Blues Dale Pale Ale, that was my go-to for years, and it was like I had this. I remember you guys like, oh my god, this is too bitter. I was like, oh, this is phenomenal. I love it. But it's just like there's those guys that were coming out, and it was like great beer. And I was like, all right, this is better than drinking PBR and and Miller Lite and everything else and Budweiser. But yeah, it's just your taste buds change, and you're like, you want something new and better. And now out there is just so much beer. There's so much on the shelf. It's just like, oh, what do I want? And what am I spending? And we all know you
What am I spending? Yeah.
you walk out. It's like, all right, I bought 2 4-packs and I spent $30. Like, whoo, these better be worth it.
I bought for over the weekend, the place I sent you. I sent Mike a picture. I'm like, it's like, or a website, and it's like 6 pages of pictures of like their beer wall, and the way you pick it is like, because now it's all like you call and you say what you want, and they'll bring it out to your car. And I'm like, what do I grab? Like, there's all these choices, and you're just like, just get what's fresh. Like,
Yeah,
that's it.
yes,
And it's like,
yes.
all right, that's actually a good way to approach it. So
yeah, drink what's fresh, because you can look at stuff that has date codes on there, and that's what I go by now. Because if something's like an IPA that's like 3, possibly 4 months old, I'm going to bypass that. I want to find something with the freshest date on there. Or this is why I like to go to local breweries down by me and be like, okay, yeah, I can go to brewery up the road, and be like, hey, I can go there. No one get a 6-pack. I know it was canned fresh. I saw it on Instagram. I was like, all right, cool. I'll grab these guys. Or that's where I like to get my beer, because it's always hit or miss. Sometimes too, you'll see something coming from like another brewery, from like New York or Pennsylvania or Maine. You're like, oh, okay. Like, am I gonna take a shot at this? But then you look at it and you're like, I kind of just always dial back to what I know. If I'm out where I can get a single can, I spend like $4 or $5 on a single can, I'm fine to do that. I don't want to spend like $17, $18 on a 4-pack that could be oxidized or off flavor. I'm a little bit of from being a brewer, we have to have our palates tested, and it can be a little bit of a beer snob at times. And I get annoyed if I spend too much money on a 4-pack, and I'm just like, wow, I spent $20 on this 4-pack, and I should have spent 3, So.
Yeah. Well, I know, like, you were at my house the one day, and I'm like, ugh, I don't like this beer. And you like tasted it, and you're like, nah, there's like, this beer is probably good like a couple weeks ago, but now it's just like oxidized and gross. Like, it's not any good. Just spill it out, And it's like, ah, man. Like, I mean, I guess that's the good part about drinking like the craft stuff is like, you're getting fresh beer. They're not putting all this other stuff in it, where like, I'm not calling any of the bigger breweries out, but it's like they probably are putting a little stuff on there to make it sit on the shelves like just a little bit longer,
Oh yeah. So. It's a big market out there right now, and there's so much out there. And people like to travel to Vermont, like we've done, and hit up Alchemist, Hill Farmstead, all those great breweries out there, and we get the freshest stuff. And all of a sudden it gets sent down here, and then I've had it and I tried from like, not gonna name any breweries, but all of a sudden I was like, oh, this tastes a little old. But then you look at the date code, you're like, oh man, it's like 3-4 months. Like this sucks. But this is why I also say I like to go to breweries and just pick stuff up, because I know it's the freshest from the breweries. And right now too, with the quarantine time, that all these breweries are doing a curbside pickup. Like, support your local breweries. Just go there, get the curbside. They're doing that. Everyone's hurting right now, so you can do that to help them out. That's a plus.
Well, we're gonna talk about, you're drinking which one?
Pocket Wrench.
Yeah, you're drinking Pocket Wrench, and I'm drinking the regular wrench. Now, what's the ABV on the Pocket Wrench?
This one I was surprised. I know, like I said when I texted you the other day, I was like, I never tried this because the ABV is so low. It's 4.5%.
Oh wow, that's a low one.
But that was just like, that's why I think I never tried it. And so I texted you, I was like, oh, I never tried it, but it's totally a crushable, a session IPA.
Yeah, because
it's a Northeast style, but it's got a good clarity.
Yeah,
good SRM.
Yeah, and I got the I'm just drinking the wrench, and That's similar stuff, but
That's always still my
a
favorite.
little bit more hazy than what you had.
That is.
But man, so part of the like we're kind of trying to do like one beer that we're drinking now and enjoying, and I drink the Wrench. Like this is my go-to right now. Like in the last, I don't know, 6 to 12 months, this is my beer of choice. Like part of the reason is I live near the brewery. Like it's you know, it's 20 minutes away from me.
What town is that in?
Man, hold on. Now I got to look at the webpage.
I know we've been to the brewery twice, and it's always been 2 or 3 times. It's always been a great time there. We did get to take a tour through the packaging area. We were trying to break in.
Okay, so we went to the Garnerville, New York one, which is like the original, and they just opened a huge facility up in Beacon, and I guess that one's open now, which is
yeah. What I've heard or read from them, but I think they're also like a brew pub.
Yeah, we got to get up there once this is all over. We do have to get up there, but yeah.
That's your go-to beer.
Yeah, it's my go-to beer right now, you know. So we thought we'd start off with like a beer that we're both enjoying right now, and I don't know, maybe I got first dibs on this one. So we're gonna talk about the Wrench family, because there's another Wrench too. You got the pocket wrench, I got the Wrench, and then there's like an impact wrench and another wrench too, like a power wrench or something.
Okay.
Hold on, I got the site. Torque wrench is the other.
Torque wrench, yes, I've had torque wrench. I didn't have the impact one yet.
Yeah,
I haven't been able to find it down here.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe, you know, maybe the same way like your beer from your place didn't make it all the way up here. The impact might have not made it all the way down by you. But yeah, man, this has been my go-to for like almost a year. Like it's just super tasty, and you know me. You know I'm a giant bitch, and I do not like IPAs, right?
Yeah, of course.
So why do I like this IPA? Well, you introduced me to the New England style, like the juicier, the kind of has that little bit of like citrusiness to it.
Yes.
So why do you think I like this beer from a brewer's perspective?
I think it's a good it's a good solid beer. It's good mouthfeel to it, good body to it. It's like good juiciness to it, where you get like the pineapple, mango from the citrus and mosaic hops into that one. It's such a juicy characteristic of the beer. It's just one of those like juice bombs, they could say, you know. That's why I think you like it, because when we first had Treehouse a few years ago, we were like, oh my god, Treehouse green and haze and purple. We were like, oh my god, this is phenomenal. But you know, now other people are doing it, and just like we were able to find a good local place, we're like, this is great. This is big. You know, they knock Wrench out of the park. You know.
Well, so. you were telling me the other day, like Industrial Arts keeps showing up on all these like beer like listings of like the top beers. What was that?
Oh yeah.
What was that all about?
I think they're making a bigger impact. Like, you know, they got like when we went to the brewery and we took the tour, and I saw their canning line, I was like, oh mother of God, you got a beast. So they have this beast that's pushing out a ton of cases a day. You know, you can get a better distribution out there and move forward, you know, and it's just also word of mouth. It's just like, hey, try this, hey, try that. You know, it's getting out there. So people are like, oh, I have to try this. Everyone wants to try the newest beer. You know, there's new breweries opening up in New Jersey, and people are going to breweries and be like, I want to try the newest beer out there. So they're trying it, and they're seeing what they like. You know, some places might go to one place and be like, this wasn't too good. And some people have traveled like 50 plus miles just to go try a beer. You know, it's, you know, at new breweries.
No, man, traveling up to Vermont is more than 50 plus miles.
Yeah, that was a haul. You know, but that was a good time. We had a great time out there. You know, log cabin smelled like a dirty bear, but we were fine.
Yeah. What was it? 4 guys? Yeah, it's 4 guys. Yeah. It's the tiniest little cabin. Yeah. But yeah, man, there's like, I mean, that's what makes this, I don't know, that's what makes this fun. Like everywhere we go, like, I don't know about you, but I've definitely planned trips with my wife. Like we're always like, oh, cool. Like if we're gonna go here, there's this brewery right near. We're gonna go hit it up. You know,
Yeah.
like we always try to make like a little time to hit up a local brewery. I usually get like a little growler or something, and you know that's awesome. You know, it's like such a fun experience. So yeah. But this place, man, the fact that it's like 20 minutes away is like the best. But but that being said, like there's good breweries by you too. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
it's not, and you worked at one, so.
Yeah. Like Tonewood, they're 10 minutes from my house. Tonewood Brewing Company in Oakland. They make phenomenal beers. I go there all the time to get their beers. Like they make, they're one of the biggest ones that I can say down here that are making a big pop. So always great solid beers. The guys there work there are phenomenal. They like the quality and craft of the beers, and I'm really happy. Like if I want to go somewhere, like they're one of the places like I'll go be like, hey, let me go grab a half a case of beer. I'll go there to get it the freshest. Um, but yeah, no, man, it's just it is. It's just knowing what you want and knowing what's out there too. So just to see what's out there, what's gonna be good. But like you said, you got a great brewery right up the road from you, so it would be hard for me to be like, I'm not, I would stop there like every other day.
Yeah,
Like,
no, dude, it's crazy how like I know certain liquor stores around here get it on certain days,
Mhm.
and it's like oh crap, like Stop and Shop Liquors isn't gonna have it because it's been like they got it like 2 days ago. I have to go to this other one because they only
Yeah,
got it like yesterday, you know, and they're like the wrench goes out like really fast. Like
yeah, that's one of their top sellers, and like one of their top tasting beers. That one's like I said, that one's phenomenal. That's one of
yeah,
the most solid beers I've had in a long time. So,
yeah.
but that one's like I said, it's definitely one of my go-tos too. If I go to a bar and I'm like looking, I'm like, all right, I don't like. Sometimes you go to a bar, sometimes the bar backs will be like, hey, what do you want? They can give you a little tasters of certain beers, but sometimes some bars don't do that. So maybe a bar should do that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Get rid of their
You're
stuff. But then if
supposed
I go
to.
there,
You're always supposed to give a little taste out.
oh
Like,
yeah, oh
you
yeah,
know, like I don't know. When I was a bartender, it's like we didn't have taps, but we had bottles. But I every now and then, man, if somebody wanted to try something, I'd be like, "Fuck it, I'll just open the bottle." And I'll blame it on like quality control, like, "Oh no, it wasn't that good" or something, or it
hmm
broke on me, you know. But it's like, yeah, you wanna let people like try stuff before they
yeah.
buy it, you
Oh,
know?
exactly. That's why I feel like I like going to breweries, and when we sometimes we would do like a brew run, and me and a few friends would just be like, hey, let's get in the truck and bring some water and pretzels, and we'll hit up like 3, 4 breweries. Then we'll go there, get some flights, try, and then we'll buy some cans, and then hit the few breweries, and usually end up back at the house, and we're like, all right, let's barbecue and make a fire in the back, and just let's just drink and have a good time. Um, it's always a good like a beer always brings people together, even during the worst times. Just beer is always there, So
Yeah. So I got a question for you. What what do you think makes this beer different than like other hazy like New England style IPAs that's kind of like making it such a big seller?
the availability. Honestly, it's just like if you could, it's what you need where you can find it. Because sometimes, like I said, I would go out of my boundaries to go find certain beers that I was just like, I'm feeling this today. And same thing too. It's like I use the app Untapped, and I'd be like, I want wrench, so I could look it up, put it in the area code, and put like 20 miles around me, and it might be like, hey, it might not be in the towns around me, but it might be in Marlton or Berlin, which is like a 20 to 25-minute ride. I'm like, all right, well, you know what? I'm going to take the shot out there because I know they have it. And I'm going to get it. Instead of me going to the liquor store and be like, hey, I'm going to look around and maybe buy this or buy that. Or I'll probably just walk out with a 6-pack of Yingling if I'm not satisfied. So it's just like, uh, you know, it's where the availability is. It's like if it's not on the shelf and people don't see it, then they're not going to buy it. So if
Right.
the people see it on there, that's where it goes out quick. And if it goes out fast, and that beer was made fresh, and like you said, it's not available at your place. You're like 2 days later, they have maybe 5 cases and it's gone.
Yeah.
The same thing when we went to Vermont and those little farmers market shops on the side. We went in there and they're like, oh well, Alchemists will come and they drop off 4 cases of beer, and we drive past a place and there's 10 people standing outside. I'm like, holy crap! Like we could just just go to the brewery,
Yeah.
when we're up in Vermont, So it's the same thing down here. If I found somewhere that was selling Heady Topper, I would take the ride to go get some Heady Topper because Heady Topper is a phenomenal beer, or
Yeah.
Banger, or Crusher. They knock it out of the park too. It's like I said, there's a lot of good breweries out there, and there's some not so good breweries out there.
Yeah.
But you gotta know what you get.
Well,
Like I said, I'm lucky enough to have the freshest beer where I live in my basement. I got one New England style IPA, Don't Haze Me Bro, in the keg right now, and I got quarantine beer I made. It's a kitchen sink beer. I think I'm gonna call it like Stay Away, 6 feet. New England IPA. I don't know. I'm still coming up with names, but it's just 6 different grains and adjuncts to make it, give it the heavy protein to make it a New England beer, and I put 6 different hops into it. And I was just like, well, I got a bunch of hops in the fridge. So let me just make something. And I'm actually going to keg it in a little bit, but it came out to an 8% beer, 8% New England style IPA. But it was just like, I was getting like passion fruit out of it and like some guava, because I think just adding all these hops together, I was just like, put 6 hops. Usually I just do 2 or 3, but I was like, I'm going to do 6. I got nothing else to do. And it came out really unique. And I was just like, okay, this could be really good. So it could be a beautiful mistake, or we'll see what happens. So next podcast, or I could bring it up like, hey, this is what it looks like. This is what I made. But yeah, no, like I always want, like I said before, just get the freshest beer. Get the freshest, because you don't want it to sit on the shelf too long, because then it gets oxidized, or you get some off flavors, and you might get a diacetyl taste, like butter taste to it. Like things happen during the packaging, so you don't know. So it's just, I always want to get the freshest, because it's just like, it's good. So always, it's like meat. You want to eat fresh meat, for our vegan friend.
Yes. Hats off. So, what goes into a New England IPA? Like, what are the ingredients?
Well, with I put a little notes together. New England IPA is essentially an unfiltered IPA or double IPA that's been aggressively hopped during the boil. Some of the appearance, or the SRM of the color, can go from slightly haze to cloudy to opaque. That's more like, I'd say, like, I would go like a cloudy, to get opaque, or even muddy. They're definitely dry hopped. They're sometimes dry hopped during fermentation, for called biotransfer. It's like 2 days in, and when it drops down to a certain Plato, we just start adding hops in, and when the yeast just start going crazy because of the CO2, and all of a sudden it's just like, it just goes off like a cannon, and it just bubbles off into the bucket. It's also the grains that you put into it. You have the high protein grains, like 2-row wheat, oat flour, or no, I'm sorry, oat flakes, oat wheat or flaked wheat, just more of the high proteins that give that cloudiness of the beer. So it's also water chemistry that helps out too, that I've learned with, you can add gypsum, calcium chloride, a few other things. I've been just sticking with calcium chloride into the mash, with the 5-gallon brews that I've been making it, and that gives the hops a big pop. But yeah, it's just overall with, also yeast strains, London 3, London Fog. That's what I've known that worked out the best, to the best fermenting the beer. So it's just like the yeast really works with it really well. So it's just, all those combined, and how it ferments at the perfect temperature, how long it needs to sit, and then, go from there. And then I tried out my fermenter. It could be 67 degrees, and I'm like trying a little beer of the fermenter. I'm like, all right, let's see how it goes. And I don't know if it has to sit a little bit more, or I'm like, all right, this is the perfect time. Let's crash it, get it down to a temperature, and then get ready to keg it. So usually with that, it's just a high protein beer and tons of hops. Tons of hops. Everyone's like, I over hop my beers, and they're like, you're putting too much in. I was like, no, it's not too much. It's flavor I'm putting in. So it's also the hops what you use, and there's a lot of new hops coming out that that I've been experimenting with, and working out pretty well so far. So things are going pretty well. So you know, that's basically what a New England is.
All right. So why don't I? You know me, so I don't like those super bitter IPAs,
Yeah.
but I like this IPA. So what is the why? I know it's all about like the hops is what makes it bitter, right? Or like,
Well, they're more late addition hops. They put them more to the end of the boil, um, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, even at flame out, or they just add them in right at whirlpool. Because when you putting hops into a beer, if you put it at 60 minutes, that's the bittering hop. You put more towards later in the middle, that's the aroma. You put more to the end, that's the flavor. So everyone's put more towards the hops to the end. That's what I usually do when I'm making a beer like a New England. I'll put hops in at like maybe 15 minutes to 10 minutes, even sometimes like 3 minutes left into the boil, and I just add all the hops in. And that's what gives it that juice bomb flavor. That's what I've been getting with all my beers. Even when the beers, when I make them, I can them or bottle them and bring them to work and have the guys try it, and to give me feedback. But everything I've been bringing to work the past few weeks, they were just like, Mike, you're making some really good juicy beers. So that's what it seems like it comes out. And it's just, like I said, it's all trial and error too, man, because you can make something and think it's going to be good, and then it can fail. And then be like, all right, let me try it again, and then change it up a little bit, and it works. So there's a lot of things. Now they're putting lactose into beers too. Works out good, but we know certain people can't drink them. Friends of ours, I could drink a few of the like lactose milkshake beers, but then I'm like, getting old, so I'm now lactose intolerant. So I can drink like 2 or 3, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I'm gonna be paying for this later on tomorrow, or like 20 minutes. So, but it's just what those, what people are putting in,
yeah,
So, but overall, we're getting a good New England IPA. It should be hazy, juicy, crushable, enjoyable, and we're just like, I want to go back and drink this one again.
yeah. So it's all about when you put the hops in is how bitter it's going to be, and that's why I don't like the more regular
Yeah,
IPA.
yeah, yeah. Because they're putting hops in at like as soon as the boil starts, right at 60
Okay.
minute. Like that's probably like Oscar Blues, because I was like, that's a bitter beer, that's a bitter
Yeah.
pale ale. But it's like, I like that stuff. I know you guys are all like, oh man,
No,
why you like?
I can't. Ah, man. Whenever I open up a beer and it's like super bitter, I'm like, no, this isn't my thing. Well, you know me. I'm more of like I like this is good, but I'm more of like an amber or like a brown ale kind of guy,
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, there we go. What types of beer do you like? You're pretty IPA heavy. You
Yeah.
are an IPA heavy guy. I tend to try like I'm down for sours. I'm down for like brown ales, like Guinness, like porters, all that. Like I'm kind of all over the place. But bitter beers are usually not my thing. But you are more bitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're a bitter person.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm a big IPA fan. But yeah, no, overall, I would drink whatever. I will try anything out there. I'm not a sour guy. Everyone that knows me knows I hate sours. I will try a sour here and there, but as soon as you get that baby vomit barnyard flavor, I'm just like, nope, this ain't me.
I mean,
Um,
I'm not gonna lie. Like some of them are gross, but
oh
some of
yeah,
them are
yeah.
like really
Oh,
good.
really good.
Some
Yeah,
sours are like this is sour. This is delicious.
yeah. We've had some where we were like, I don't know about this. And we were like, wow, this was actually a good sour. But it's also too for the times for me what I like to drink like, on an everyday basis. Um, I'll drink my IPAs, but during the time now, spring's coming out. I'm gonna want my Hefeweizens. I'm gonna drink some Crispy Boy Pilsners. When it gets colder at night, I want my porters. I want my stouts during the wintertime. I love banging out stouts during the winter time, and especially when it's really cold, get out those barrel aged stouts. Like, boom, get me a little bit of bourbon, burn into that stout. Like, I like those. Plus, those higher alcohol beers, I like to share. We've shared beers like before, where it's just like bring a pounder can, and be like, we're gonna share this. So it's just like, dude, it's 13%. Okay, yeah, let's share that. So yeah, it's just overall, I'll drink whatever and I'll try whatever. But yeah, my go-to beers are IPAs.
Mm. That's why, like, for me, like when you guys kind of like got me on this road of like the new, because you're like, I know you don't like IPAs, but you should try New England IPA.
Yeah.
Like, I think you'll like it. And I was like, no way, man, it's got the word IPA in it. I don't want this. And you were like, nah, trust me, try it. And I forgot which one, like, I can't even tell you which one I like started out drinking. Probably something by you, like Carton or something,
Yeah.
like, but I was like, oh snap, this is pretty good. It's
Yeah.
like, I like this. So like, that's why like when my beer journey continues, I'm like, let me try it at this place. Let me try it at this place. And like I like I was like, ooh, this is a cool label. Let me freaking pick this up. Like I was like, so here's something. So I do art. That's what I do as a daily job. How important is the art? I know how important the art on cans is for me. How important is it for you?
Oh yeah, no, it's like I want something that's an eye catcher. Um, that if I'm walking by and I see something, it's just like, oh, hey, what is this? And, I'll pick it up. It could be either be a brown ale or a stout, but hopefully it's an IPA. But it's always the artwork too that gets me because beer still reminds me of music. And when you go out and maybe see an album at a record store or even looking online on iTunes and you see the artwork, you'll be like, because I love metal and death metal. I'm like, I want to see the most morbid picture on like a metal album to be like, yeah, this would probably be really good. But it's always like you need something appealing and just something to be like, I want to try that. That's something I'm interested in trying. Because sometimes when you just see a boring label, it's just like, I'm just gonna move by,
Mm.
So label and artwork, I think is a big thing. So
Yeah. Dude, there's been one beer I've been avoiding. Like they could have amazing beer. I just never buy it. I don't want to even name their name, but it's like I hate their artwork on their label. It's like messy looking and I'm just like, like I absolutely hate it and I've avoided their beers like because of it. Like I never drink it.
yeah.
It's like their beer could be delicious, but I'm never gonna try it
Yeah.
because their label sucks
Yeah,
so bad.
if you can get a single can of their beer, then maybe try it that way. Because there's been times I passed off and looking at our cans and I was like, this is stupid. I'm like, I don't want to try that. But then that app Untap really helps out too, where I can scan it in and be like, what does everyone else think? Because
Yeah,
sometimes you look it up and be like, all right, well it's 3.5. I don't really want to waste my money on it. And if I get a single can of it for $4, all right, cool. And it's the same
yeah,
thing too. Like going to the bars, like something that I might not have tried because I'm not a fan of the brewery, but I might see it on tap. Like, all right, I'll try it. I'll pay $6-7 for a draft and try it. That's what being quarantined, miss going to the bars because it's just like there's like 30 taps and I'm just like, oh, what do I got in my fridge?
God,
So
dude. Ugh. I don't go out to bars as much anymore just because when you get a kid, it's like so my bar is my little fridge downstairs, but it's like I do miss that. Like you go to a bar and you're like, oh, what's this? I'll try it, and then you
yeah,
try like one and you're like, ugh, no,
yeah,
but give me the other one,
exactly. Yeah, like I said, as soon as this whole quarantine's over, we got to do a little beer
Mhm.
tour.
Yeah, plus my kid will be good. She'll be like old enough that we can just like strap her on, like under the chest and like let's go to the bar. So that'll be good. Can't wait. Yeah, man. Nice. Once you finish whatever you're drinking, so our other segment was what beer you have been avoiding that's been in your fridge for like ever. And it's not you're avoiding it because it's not a good beer. You probably bought it because you want to drink it, but it's like there's something in your fridge that's like the wrench, I'll just grab that. It's like it's like it's an easy yes. You're gonna get that like instant gratification of like the wrench is gonna be delicious, I'm gonna enjoy it, I'm gonna have like one or two and I'll like whatever. And I'll show you mine. So I've had this in my fridge for a while. It's
Oh, okay,
Stone
yeah.
Porter.
The
And
smoked porter.
first off, I love porters. Like I love it, but it's been in my fridge for a while
Yeah,
because it's a big bottle, and
yeah,
it's no different than me drinking two of these. But I'm like constantly like I avoid it because because I'm just like, I don't know, man, 2 wrenches and I know exactly, I know what I'm gonna get from it,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna open up the stone in a minute, but there's nothing wrong with that beer. I've had it before, but
Oh, yeah.
I've been avoiding it for some weird reason, so we're gonna give that a shot. What about you?
I gotta go look in the fridge real quick.
Ah, yeah, so I don't know if you want to hit up anything else on like the wrench or the pocket wrench or whatever.
Um, just the pocket wrench was a good crushable session IPA. It was a little tart to me in the beginning, but it's a little tart. I got a little peppery note to it. So but it's also like I said, 4.5%. It's crushable. Like I would definitely, if I was on the beach fishing, I would definitely kill this. Or cut the grass. It's a good lawnmower beer too for
There you
me.
go.
So,
Yeah,
but it's
I
a
mean,
good crushable beer.
I didn't even kind of talk about this one at all. So the wrench is like it's very citrusy. There's
Yeah,
definitely some citrus in here, and I don't know. It's 7.1, but it doesn't feel like 7.1.
it creeps up on you.
Like this one, so so you weren't there, but before my kid was born, I drank, I don't know, man, like 20 of these. Like it was a long day of like random things me and a couple of my buddies did, but I drank like 20 pints like throughout the day. Way too much beer. I was just a mess at the end of the day. But it was so easy. This beer is so easy to drink, and
Yeah,
it's amazing.
yeah.
And then by the end of the day, I was just a mess, and my wife's like, "What did you do to Roman?" But and they're like he drank it, like
Uh,
I wasn't stopping. I was like, oh, it's so delicious. So yeah, for 7.1, this is ridiculously
I
easy
know.
to
It
drink.
sneaks up on you. Even like
Yeah.
some of those beers. So you get that 6.5, 7 point. It's just like it'll sneak up on you. Like sometimes you could be in God mode and be like, I could drink 8 of them and I'm fine. Then you could
Yeah.
be in like a little off mode and you drink 2 of them and you're laying on the floor. You know.
And when I say 20, I'm probably exaggerating. It was probably like 15, but it was a lot. Like trust me, it was way more beer than I should have drank in a
Oh,
day.
yeah.
But it was man, it's easy to drink, which is
Oh yeah.
crazy. And what's funny, like I remember like this is citrusy, and the citrus doesn't come from like actual citrus. This is like in the yeast, the grains, the hops.
The hops give it like the juiciness,
Like
and the yeast working with it gives it that works with the hops. It changes it. The yeast is a marvelous little animal that could make a lot of flavor. There's so much yeast strains out there. It's ridiculous. But like I said, I don't know what they use, but I use London, and that's what I prefer over like using California Ale yeast or Chico. I like using the London because that always gives like the juiciness that I've been looking for.
nice. Nice. Yeah, man. This stuff is it's so easy to drink. That's why I kind of we should have actually done this as like we each got like a wrench, a pocket wrench, a torque wrench, just to try all the different like levels of them,
Yeah.
But also if me and you drank like 4 beers right now, yeah, but yeah.
I don't think the wife will be happy.
Ah, but no, man, like no, I've this guy, like if you're looking for like a nice like if you're not super into like IPAs, but you want to try like this has that nice like it does have like just a touch of that bitterness,
Mm.
but it's so cut by that citrusiness,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
super good. And at 7.1, it's still easy to drink, which is dangerous.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, if I didn't take my one ride of today to go to the supermarket, I'd be going out now to finding wrench down here.
Ah,
But I already made my one trip for today, so I'm staying home now.
yeah, man.
So,
I mean, I will say there is something to be said about this whole like virus thing. It is kind of nice. Like I literally just put a call in to my liquor store and I'm like, I want this, 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 and this. And they just bring it out to my car and you have to leave. I'm like, I don't know, this is kind of cool. Like
it's gonna change. It's gonna change the beer world, man, and it will. It will. It might be like other breweries too. They may call up and be like, "Hey, man, like that'd be awesome." Instead of like you're going to a party and these other breweries, like you call up, like, oh, you're going to Joe's house, and passing Joe's house, you pass a local brewery. Instead of going in there, no, if I went in there, I'd be like, oh, babe, we're just gonna go in and get beer, and then I'm in there for a half hour. I'm in the back probably brewing or fixing some machine for them, or talking to someone back there, or even just go in there and start drinking and talking to someone. You go curbside, be like, hey, I'm going to a party, call it in, get what you get, you bring it out to your car, and then you're on your way.
Yeah,
It
I
helps
do
out
not
with
mind
that.
it. I mean, look at Nar. Nar's got that beer pickup by him.
Oh
Like
yeah.
drive through. Our one buddy has a it's like a drive through liquor store. You don't leave your car, you just tell them what you want, and they just put it in your trunk. It's pretty genius.
Yeah, it is. It is. I know they did that in PA years and years ago. Me and Jason, we used to go to band practice and be like, all right, got stuff at the liquor store. Let's get a case of Yingling,
Yeah.
and just drive in and get that and just go. Instead of wasting 25, 30 minutes in the store, you know what you want too. It helps out with hey, that's what I want. Instead of going in there, I know I'm going to spend $50. I know if I go in there, I'm going to walk out spending $80, $90. What else is out there? But you get what you get right now. So
yeah, but I don't know. I walk into a liquor store and I don't know what I want. I'm like, I look at those labels and I'm like, all right, what type of beer do I like? Do I like the label? Like, and I'll give it a shot.
right.
So
It is. It is. It's just it's just beer's the same thing too. If you go to a restaurant, you see someone walking by, you like, hey, I want to order chicken parm, but then someone walks by with a plate of ribs, you'd be like, no, those ribs look really good, or nachos too. Like, hey, I'm gonna grab those. So it's also an appearance that makes something where you look forward to drinking it.
yeah,
Because like the beer, like I pulled out, this is not a nice label. it's a
Kentucky vanilla what?
it's a vanilla barrel cream ale.
Oh
This is not I don't like the label. That's just why it's been sitting in my fridge for probably like 3-4 years.
Oh man, you're drinking the old beer.
Oh yeah, dude, like I said, you're lucky I didn't pull out that dogfish that's been 120 that's been sitting in there for about 8 years. But yeah,
next episode we'll do that.
Yeah, it's cream ale, natural flavor added, bourbon barrel.
That is not your style of beer at all.
I know, but this
brought that over. Was that me like 2 years ago?
No, dude, this has been in the fridge for a while. So I was just like, all right. But it says like I thought it'd be higher, but it's only 5.5%.
Oh man.
Let's try it. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. Like I said, I always like to put stuff in off my bar and glasses.
I'm opening up the porter. Let's do it.
Oh, good. It's all vanilla. Oof.
Man, that is beautiful. Why has this been sitting in my fridge?
That looks good.
Totally my style.
This just looks like it's still got some carbonation to it, which is good. But cheers.
Cheers. Why has this been sitting in my fridge?
Yeah. Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah.
All right, tell me about it. Tell me. About
I'm getting a lot of vanilla. I'm not getting really a bourbon. Getting a little bit of an oak wood to it, but getting a little caramel in the back end. Yeah, it's interesting. This is definitely one of those beers I should have just, like I said, someone brought it over during a brew day and was just like, hey, we'll just try it, throw it in the fridge, because we would all share it and talk about it. But it was sitting in the fridge. I'm like, all right, let me try this now. So let's see how it is. It's decent. It's decent. I don't know if I would try it again, because if it's fresh on tap somewhere, I would try it again just to see the freshness of it. But like I said, this has probably been sitting in my fridge for 4 or 5 years. It's
hold it up again. What is it? It's pretty light.
Yeah, it's like a pilsner. Well, it's a cream ale. Okay. So it's you got a little bit of like creaminess to it. But like I said, I'm getting the vanilla, the creaminess. I'm getting a little caramel at the end, a little bit of the barrel oak. But it's decent. If I put it on taps, I'll give it like a 3.75. It's not like I'm glad I'm not pouring it down the drain and be like, oh my god, it's oxidized. It tastes like cardboard.
Yeah.
It's just like it's pretty decent.
All right, and this is the Stone Smoked Porter, and at first, like I love porters, man. But I think it's the smokiness. I don't know what. First off, what would make this smoked?
Smoke. Uh, well, sometimes the grain. They probably use some smoky grain. Or
Okay, like
they
something
take
that's been like toasted or something.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
like
toasted grain to give
yeah.
that smoky flavor. Um, so yeah, we've had a smoky beer being bitter, and it tasted like a campfire. We're like,
Dude,
no,
I feel
no,
like I'm sitting at a campfire right
yeah,
now drinking a porter. Like
yeah.
that's exactly what I feel like.
Well, it's a good mild one then, because like I said, there's some that are above and beyond, but this is like it's a good. At least your clothes won't smell like campfire, you know.
Dude, I want like a s'more right now. Like I like this is I think Danielle got me this. Like I don't know who got me this, but I assume it's Danielle because she always gets me like stuff like this. It's she probably got this around like Christmas or like, and so it's not super old or anything. It's just been sitting there for a couple, like 2 months now. What, March? Yeah, 3 months. It's good. It definitely tastes like campfire. Like it's like a campfire beer. All right, I drink this, but I see why I've been avoiding it. Like I I see why I've been like I'm just gonna have a wrench,
Yeah,
like 'cause this is like an experience. Like this is an experience beer.
exactly,
This
exactly.
isn't like an everyday like drinking beer, like where I'm gonna grab a wrench or something like that. Like my normal kind of like rotation beer. Like this is like I need to feel like we've got a fire going or something. That's what this is.
No, it's good. Yeah, man. It's like I said, even though it's those big bottles, those are the ones we usually share and everything else.
Yeah,
It's all you guys when you come over and we're hanging out at the brewing because I bring all these little taster glasses out in the basement, then they all leave. I feel like a busboy putting them all in my dishwasher and everything else.
that's your
But
job, man. You're hosting.
I know, I know, I know. But yeah,
You
no.
got a dishwasher. You're good.
No, like you said, I like that idea. It's just like try something you haven't had in your fridge for a while. Like, this has been sitting for a while. It's good. I'll finish the bottle. Like it's. I was avoiding it because I was just like, vanilla and cream. I was just like,
Oh, that's so not your style.
yeah,
Like,
it's like it's
doesn't
so
even look like your style. Like, watch, like I know you with a giant beard. Like, the last thing I see is like Mike's drinking a vanilla beer. Like,
exactly. Like I said, the label is not really appealing. And I was just like, if I walk by and I saw that, I'm like, it's certain things. Like I said, you walk by and you see something like this, and I'm just like, all right, that catches my eye. I just think it's also
their
mechanical, where I like mechanic stuff. So
their label is interesting because it's super simple. Like, for the most part, it's just a couple hexagons. Like,
yeah,
but it's like it's so. I don't want to like blow any more smoke up these guys' ass, but it really is just like a bunch of hexagons, like just kind of I don't know,
you
man.
got the gears on the side and everything else. You got gears on that one. This has like all schematics and stuff and everything.
Yeah,
This might
no, this
actually
one's got that
be
too.
cool.
Yeah,
So, but it's a well designed beer, and like I said, also with two, it has a date code on it. That's like I said,
yeah.
I always look at the date code here. They put it on their side. I know other breweries put it on the bottom. The brewery I worked at had it on the bottom. I know, like I said, Industrial Arts always puts it on the side of the can.
Yeah, mine was 326.
That's super fresh.
Yeah.
This is 224, so it's like I said, it's just I always go for something like there's no date code on this one.
I have no idea about this guy either, but I will say like this is good. This is good. And Stone, dude, Stone's a classic. Stone has classic beers. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, oh yeah.
these guys are in San Diego, and we were in San Francisco when we went out there.
Yeah, I think we hit up
So,
Rogues.
I mean, but like, I know we've been drinking Stone for like years.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Arrogant Bastard was always a good one.
Yeah.
That's one of the bitter ones that we tried, and I think you guys were like, "Oh, it's a little too bitter." I'm like, "This is perfect! Like, give me like 4 of them."
But that's your style,
Yeah.
like that's your thing. And then you make fun of me when I drink my sours, and I'm like, oh, it tastes like blueberries, and like,
Yeah. Fruity beers. I'm like, okay, that's good. That's good.
yeah,
Each to their own. So that's working in the brewery and just seeing what everyone else drinks, and even being at the tasting room and see what people drink in the tasting room. And just like, all right, well, people do drink this. Okay, I understand why we're making it. And, it's just certain beers, even with the brewery I worked at, it might have been like 2-3 beers. It wasn't I wasn't a fan of, but people liked it. And I was like, okay,
Yeah. No, I liked some of those beers you did not like.
I
So
know, I know.
I was like, this is delicious. I can drink this all day.
Trust me, take a few home. Here you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, man. No, I think like I get why I wouldn't drink this. Like I've been avoiding it, but it is good. Like this one's good. Oh, it's 5.9 ABV.
Okay.
This is a nice beer, man. This is a nice beer. I'm gonna be drunk Sunday.
Sunday fun day. Trust me, yeah, I still got a keg of beer, so
Yeah.
because I gotta clean. It's like you said, it's a glorified janitor because after I put the beer into the keg and then I gotta clean the fermenter. So
that was the craziest part. Like that, I think. Well, you guys made fun of me because I sent you links to that like beer making machine that
oh
basically
yeah.
put all the ingredients into different like containers and it did all the work for you. And I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. Like I totally would be a brewer. And you guys were like, yeah,
No.
Mike and a couple of our other buddies were just making fun of me. Like, that's not how you brew beer. And you're right. It's not how you brew beer, but it's
Yeah.
how I would brew beer. Because
Yeah.
it's like, I don't have to do shit. Like, I have to clean out like 3 or 4 containers and I'm done. But but for like actual brewers, yeah, I totally get it. Like, I totally get why you would think that that's like a cheap way out of it. But
You also have to have the room, man. Like I said, I'm lucky enough to have a basement to keep all my stuff.
yeah, your entire basement's like your entire, you brew outside, you have the other section, but you do like all the kegging and everything inside. And
Yeah. This is basically my cellar. So it's just I have where I have my fermenters. We got a refrigerator that we're going to start making pilsners and lagers, so we can have a controlled center. Um, that's where we're being my buddy, Jason Beater. We're supposed to brew a lager, and he got the equipment. He had it sent to his house, but he lives in the post. He couldn't come down because the whole quarantine time. So I don't want him to travel. No one's traveling right now, so we're going to hold off onto making pilsners and lagers. So that's why I said like next I'm going to brew on Monday, and I'm like, I'm just going to make it amber. Just go do something different,
yeah.
But yeah, I'm lucky enough to have this area, have a coozer and everything else to make my beer, and like I said, I have all my ingredients. I got a canning machine, I got a bottle machine, and we're good. We're making some, I'm glad I can just go to work. It's like, hey, here, have this. Like, put it in a can. I'm like, yeah, put it in a can, man. It's like, I got a canning machine at the house, just canning steamer. So, it's an expensive hobby, but at the end of the day, when you're trying it, like,
Well,
if
I
you like
mean,
it, then you're good.
think about it this way: your hobby has actually gotten you a job
Yeah.
doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like so, it's definitely worked out. And it wasn't an easy road for sure. Like
Oh
I've
no.
watched you, you made a shit ton of beers before, like, your brewery was like, oh fuck, man, this guy knows what he's doing, like, and then they were like, can we use one of your beers? And then you're like, pay me some money.
Yeah,
Well,
it didn't work
we're
out.
not getting into all that, but let's just say that's kind of how that worked. But
Yeah.
but it's like seriously, like, it took you a while. It's not an easy job. Like, no, man, when you create something, it's not easy. Like
No.
anytime you're creating something new or something fresh, it takes a bit,
Yeah. It's all trial and error because there's other homebrewers I've talked to that they make something and like, oh, why it doesn't came out right? It didn't do this right. I'm like, well, then just make a little bit of adjustments, man. Change your grain, change your hops, change your water chemistry. Where are you getting the water from? Where I live, I can't use my tap water because it's too much like chlorine into it. You can smell it. So we have a small RO system at the house. It only holds 2 gallons of water. So if I had to fill 15 gallons of water, I have to start on Monday to brew on Friday. There's a shop right up the road that they have a system. It pays like 40 cents per gallon. So I can go spend $6 and get 15 gallons of water in 20 minutes. That's where I usually go but during this time, I'm not going to be going out, you know. So I think I'm lucky to have a RO system at the house. But like I said, it only holds 2 gallons of water, and then when it fills up, it takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours to fill up. So it's like to get 5 gallons, it's like a day and a half, you know. So it's a science, man. Everyone's just like, you drink beer, you get drunk, this and that. But if you're actually making beer, like I said, it's like music. You gotta just work this all together. It's a chemistry. It's a love of the passion of it too. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, then you shouldn't be doing it. And it's just like you said, homebrewing is just like you're cleaning. You're cleaning 90% of the time.
Yeah.
You're spraying stuff down. And you're like, yeah, don't touch that. Do this and this, like, and same thing too when you're brewing. You might be standing around for like 10, 20 minutes doing nothing, and all of a sudden it's go time. Do this, and that. But yeah, it's just got to be the passion and the love of it.
This shit's good.
Yeah, I know.
I'm getting drunk. It was definitely not these. It was definitely the wrenches with their 7.1.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. That was the one thing. The whole, like, my entire kitchen was just covered in water. I was trying to wash out bottles and everything when I was trying to homebrew. And it's such a pain in the butt, man. Like you've upgraded. You're going straight into kegs now and stuff. And
yeah.
You know? Like
Yeah.
you're just like fuck bottles.
Like I said, I can keg it. I like to keg it, and then right off the tap, I can put it in the can, put it in a can seamer, or use my beer gun and Blickman beer gun and put it in a bottle. Like we did national homebrew competition again this year. We took third place last year in the regional for our Russian Imperial Stout. This year we put out 2 beers, me and my brew partner Jay, and unfortunately with the whole virus that came out, it got canceled. And me and him, I put a double New England style IPA called Splatterbrains in it, and it came out really well. And Jason put in we call it Cold Cracker. It's a white IPA. And we were very happy with both beers that came out, and we were looking forward to the competition. And then the competition got canceled because of this virus, and we're just like, fuck, it costs money to do the competition. It's like they said they're going to send us some money back, and a few guys I know in the competition like, oh, I want my beer back. I'm like, I don't know where my beer went. You can just take it. So let someone else drink it. Give it to some hobo. I don't care. It's just but yeah, it sucks because we did place third last year for this Russian Imperial Stout that we made, and we beat I think 35, 40 people. We took third place, but it's still people that don't know us, and we just made beer in my garage, and it was just like, beating 35, 40 people, even taking third place is still good. It's just like you're doing something right.
Yeah.
So that's why I keep on driving to push to make more beer, better beer, fresh beer, just for people to enjoy. It's just like you want people to enjoy it. So
yeah, no, absolutely.
Know what you're doing and everything else, because if something doesn't do good, then you'd be like, all right, how can I adjust it? And it's not like giving to a friend like, hey, try, let me know. And sometimes your friends are always like, oh, it's good, and sometimes you get the friends that are very critical and be like, man, it's okay, maybe change up this. But then you give it to a complete stranger and they say like, hey, this is good, and you're winning competitions, you're like, all right, I'm doing something right here. And it gives me a drive, puts a little fire into my tush, and just keep it moving forward.
Yeah, I try to be pretty critical with you. I've given you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you've
been like, oh no, what is this? This is terrible. No, I've tried to be critical but fair. Like, yeah, I think exactly. I will say I do think I know what a good beer tastes like. I don't drink something I don't enjoy. I don't just drink to drink, like I drink to like this is a good beer. This is like a nice sip of beer. I don't just drink to drink. Like
no. It is. It's just as we get older, it's not like I said, we're drinking PBRs and Miller Lite and just like, hey, let's just go party and play beer pong. It's just like, yeah, we're gonna sit down and hang out and talk and have a few brews and be like, yo, dude, I brought, many times me and you and our friends, we hang out and be like, hey, we all bring a bunch of beers and we
Yeah,
hang out like, here, try a beer. Try
that's the best. I mean, that's the best. Like, I love, like, hopefully all this ends soon,
yeah.
but I love when we all get together and everybody brings a brew from like their local, brewery or something, and we're all like, oh, this tastes like this, or I really like this. I gotta go there one day. Like,
Yeah,
that's the best, like that is
exactly.
best thing ever. Like, I was like, oh dude, you gotta try Industrial Arts, and you're like, you gotta come down by me. We got this place by me, like Carton or one of the other ones, or Tonewood. Tonewood's the one that the last time I was at your house, you're like, Tonewood's got
Yeah,
this.
Tonewood, yeah.
And it's like that's the fun part of it. You're like, oh man, if I'm in this area, I gotta hit up this brewery.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that's something I should like, and that's the best part. That's the best part. Because there's no perfect beer. Like,
No,
there's
it's not.
no. It's all about trying stuff and like
Yeah.
finding stuff. And I mean, think about it. Years ago, like, this is back talking about, like, JJ Biddings. Like, I was like, oh man, this Avenel Amber is the best beer I've ever had. And I was like 21 or 22, so I'm like, oh my God, this is the first beer I've ever had, but it's so good. It's so
Yeah.
amazing, and then it's like, I remember, you kind of get sick of it after a while. I don't know, sick of it, but it's just like, I want something new,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you remember Blue Moon was like the hottest shit for like ever, like a good year. Blue Moon was like oh my God, a Blue Moon. Like, oh, we gotta do it, And then it's like, I think like that Blue Moon thing phased out. And that's kind of when it was like, let's really hit up some of these craft beer places. That was kind of like Blue Moon kind of topped off. And that's when the whole, like, we started really hitting up like craft places. And, it was like, oh my God, like, I don't want this orange in my beer anymore. I want, like, I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know. It is. I mean, I don't want to say it like, maybe in a year I'm gonna be like, Industrial Arts, fuck this. But right now, man, this is what I enjoy drinking.
Yeah.
But in a year from now, I might want something totally different. And that's
Exactly.
the best part. There are options. There's options everywhere. So we are East Coast guys. We're very, we're upper New Jersey, lower New Jersey. And we've definitely traveled both, like, all, up to Vermont, down to Florida. So we've definitely tried some beers. And I've been on the West Coast, and you've been to Hawaii and shit like that. And it's like beer, it's cool tasting beers from all over the place,
It is.
Yeah.
It's cool just even too is even go a little west. We went to out to PA to drop off beers for the National Homebrew Competition. And me and my dad, when we went last year, we went to a place called Imprint, and they were only open for 6 months. But we went there; they were like really good, solid beers. It's just like just to see what else is out there. Because even when we were traveling, it was like, all right, we gotta go an hour west. Let's see what it's out there. And we stopped at one place, and I was like, oh my God, their IPAs are really good. You got my dad; he's like almost 70 years old. He's an old head. He's still like drinking Rolling Rocks and Coors Light. So I was just like, all right, thank God the brewery had like a Pilsner in there. So I was like, let me get a Pilsner for my dad. And I got like a flight, and my dad got my dad a draft. And I was like, I went back up to get another beer. My dad's like, yeah, no, give me another draft. I was like, all right, cool. My dad had like 3 or 4 beers. He doesn't drink that much, but he was having a great time. He was like, this is really good. But there's other times we go to other breweries, and I'm like, all right, Dad, there's no Pilsner or something light. I'm like, you can try this Belgian blonde, and he likes it. It's just also what's out there,
Yeah.
from like you said, the New England and the IPAs, but there's also the Belgians. They can have the clove flavors and everything else. You got those Belgian beers where people don't really like, but I like to try them here and there.
Don't really like. I have a lot of friends who are always like, every year they're like, oh, this is what I drink around Christmas time, is those fancy ass Belgian beers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do ya?
Yeah.
See, now this shit's hitting me. I'm drunk.
I'm so glad I got the light alcohol ones. You went for the
Right?
big ones. 4.5. I got an XPA from Fish, and I was just like, oh, this is like 5. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna the pace, not a race. So I was like, I said, I was glad I was like, I got that one. It was like 5.5. I was like, ooh. So
Yeah.
I thought that was gonna be stronger, but it's still. I don't know if I want any more of that Kentucky, but too much.
You've given up.
Yeah.
I'll finish the Stone. This one's good. I like porters though, so I'm good.
All right.
I don't know, man. I don't know if there's anything else you want to talk about. Like,
I think we're good right now.